Self-love means a variety of things to me, starting with the physical, which is exercise, eating right, sleeping, dressing right, just basically taking care of what I call the outer man. Lotions and potions, those are things that I think are very important. I love to use Body Shop. Body Shop is my preferred body care product, and I know it's expensive, and I've always wondered, can I keep this up? But it's the one thing I've said says yes to me. So when I take a shower in my Body Shop body wash and put on my body butter, that feels like self-love. But it also means a few other things in terms of the internal environment, which is guarding your heart, guarding your spirit, guarding your soul, growing it, understanding who you are, how you've come to be, why you carry the perceptions and the attitudes that you do, and seeing how you can constantly better yourself. But first and foremost, it's about acceptance, accepting who you are, loving who you are on the inside, and striving and working to make yourself better. And then eventually it comes to taking care of other people, because as self-love is not done in isolation. We're a community, we're a society, you're a member of a family. I'm a mom, I have kids, so taking care of them too and giving them the best possible care is part of self-love. So self-love has multiple angles. Oh, can I think of a time that I showed myself kindness and compassion? I think I do that a lot because I have had to catch myself severally through life when I'm judging myself or beating myself too hard. I think most recently it's been around the physical. Turning 50 came with a lot of changes. And what was once a very agreeable body that listened to what I said and did, which is responded to exercise and diet and what have you, became this runaway body, which was not really conforming. So despite all my exercise, despite all my gymming and all the things that I had done when I was younger, the resistance, there was this kitambi that just came and stayed regardless of anything. And so I had a hard time reconciling myself to this new body form, but I obviously did something about it. But before doing something about it was to say, Carole, you're a 51-year-old now. I'm going to be 52 this year. There's no point of evaluating or judging yourself against your 25 or your 35-year-old self. Come on, cut yourself some slack. 3 beautiful kids. There's no way it's going to be what it was when you didn't have them. And time has come. You've lived life. You've enjoyed. And that comes with something. So be kind, be easy, and then now take care of business from that perspective. Whoa, boundaries, something I'm learning to do more of now, creating boundaries. In the past, I think I had very porous boundaries. I'm a very open book, very, I'm an extrovert, so I also come from a place of goodness, so I imagine that everybody is coming from the same place. So I've always been very accommodating of all sorts of people. My last couple of years have taught me that not everybody qualifies to get into your inner sanctum. They can get to the living room, they could possibly come to the kitchen, they can dine with you, but they may not be welcome to the bedroom, and certainly not into your bed, for example. So that delineation is something that I'm coming to understand, that one has people that I allow in have to earn and deserve the pleasure of my inner sanctum. And then depending on how you behave and who you show me you are, then that gives you access to another level, and so forth and so forth. So that's boundaries. I think the question was, how do I set healthy? So yeah, setting healthy boundaries is basically first making a determination within myself that this is how far this goes, whatever that might be. It could be a work relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be anything. So setting the limits because of what I have assessed it to be, and then communicating, sometimes directly and other times indirectly, but always making sure that the other party knows that I am no longer available, or you are no longer welcome, or you're now welcome, depending on the boundary or the access that I'm giving. That's a communication, and then ensuring that as we go along, you're testing that the boundaries are not being violated. Yeah, either way. So that continuous assessment is another thing that I would say I use to set healthy boundaries. I laugh a lot. I love I love the set that I have laughter within me, and I think it's a good thing. I thank God for, I call it my inner joy, because the days when I think to myself I shouldn't be smiling, I shouldn't be even awake really, or whatever, and I find that there's a spring of joy that comes from within. I'm gonna say it's cliche, but it's fine. I'm a mom of three beautiful children. And I think for me, being a mother has been the most important, and first, it's the biggest job I've ever had, to be responsible or to be a custodian for three lives, because that's what we are. We're custodians. And to be able to just to bring them up and to see them go through life and go through the different life stages, and to be allowed to be a part of that journey. And now they're going, one adult daughter, two teenagers. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the thing that I'm most proud of. Self-expression. So I'm a deeply musical. I'm deeply creative, but in the musical dance sense. So I sing a lot, I dance a lot, and that's the way in which I think I express myself the best, in song, oh, and also in literature and reading, and in poetry, and all things that are to do with words and rhythm and beats. That's the piece for me, which is where I best express myself. Hmm. Um, I mean, I think it's fine to listen into a different voice, a different perspective, a different take. I, I, when it's valid, then I will absorb it, or I will take it in and see what I could do different. When I think it's out of place and not warranted, then it's just water off a duck's back. I mean, whatever you do, you say what you will. I'm moving on. So it's a kind of it depends. It depends on where the criticism is coming from. Um, but definitely negative energy. Negative energy, we have no place for. There's just no time for that. We don't need that. So that I very quickly shut down. So if you come with strange vibes or funny, perspective that is all about bringing people down or bringing me down, you're out. I make no apologies for that. I take long, long walks. And my daughter the other day said I'm neurotic about this. And I said, you know what? Maybe I am, but it's a one thing I know for sure, that if I hit the road with my earphones on, listening to TD Jakes or whatever music, or recently Apostle Joshua Selman, and hit at least 10 kilometers. That's saying yes to Carole.